Hey guys, just doing a quick algebra review just in case you forgot or you need some additional notes or you're starting to do it and you're not exactly sure what to do next. Algebra is all about finding an unknown number. You've been doing this since about grade 3, but you didn't call it algebra. For example, we'd have a problem like 4 plus blank equals 10. And as a child, as a younger kid in grade 3, you might have said, yeah, I already know this answer. It is 4 plus 6 equals 10. Instead of a blank like this or a question mark, algebra tells us to set up variables. A variable is, instead of a blank or question mark, it is assigning a letter. This letter is going to be really important because it acts as a placeholder. So when you start doing algebra, you know exactly what to do. The best part about algebra, you have to take things one step at a time. And if you don't know order of operations, taking things one step at a time involves BEDMAS. So you may need to review your orders of operations as well. Let's look at a couple of examples. In algebra, this is an algebraic statement. 4 plus an unknown number equals 10. Many of you might be saying 8 equals 6, but it's important that we process this algebraically because problems will get a little bit harder. In algebra, your goal is to isolate the variable to one side of the equation. So I'm going to write that down real quick right here. Your goal is to isolate, meaning have a on one side of the equation and the numbers on the other side. You need to isolate the variable. The way we do this is by balancing the numbers between the equal sign. I kind of want you to imagine that there's a giant teeter-totter where the equal sign is in the middle and both sides of the equation on either side. If you're doing something to one side, you have to do the same thing to the other side. In this case here, in order to isolate a to one side, we're going to remove 4 from this side. Since we're removing 4 from this side, it's important that we balance it out and also remove 4 from this side. The opposite of addition is subtraction. These cancel out like that. And we're left with a equals 6. This is a simple one example of a one-step problem. Let's look at something a little more complex. In this problem right here, we have both brackets, addition, and multiplication. It seems really complex, but once again, algebra is all about taking things one step at a time. So when you have multiple steps, it's important to remember order of operations. We remember order of operations through our acronym BEDMAS. So I'm going to write that down to remind us. Now, in algebra, we actually do BEDMAS backwards. So just a reminder, BEDMAS stands for bracket, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Since brackets is all the way at the back and we start at subtraction, we have to go through BEDMAS. There's no subtraction for us to get rid of here, so next we go to addition. We do have addition, but it's currently in the brackets. So we move on. Do we have multiplication? We absolutely do. In algebra, to get rid of something, you need to do the opposite to both sides. Since we're multiplying by 2 here, we're going to have to divide by 2 on both sides of the equal sign. The divisions cancel out like that, and we're left with our next step. So 14 divided by 2 is 7, and it's important after each step to rewrite it. Since b plus 3 is the last things there, the bracket goes away, and we're left with b plus 3 equals 7. Since we finish our multiplication, we move on. Is there any division for us to do? Nope. Any exponents? Nope. But we do have what's in the brackets, plus 3. So we're going to subtract our plus 3 to get our answer. In this case, b equals 4. Our last problem that we already solved, we learned that b equals 4. When you've already solved a problem, a really good way to double check that you are correct is to insert your answer into the original equation. So instead of b, let's switch it out for 4. 4 plus 3 in brackets times 2 equals 14. In this case, once again, since this is not algebra and this is order of operations, we do need to follow BEDMAS. But this time, we're going to follow it moving forwards. So we're going to start with our B for brackets. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 times 2 equals 14. Let's multiply 7 times 2 to double check. 7 times 2 does equal 14. So when we have an answer where it is correct on both sides, 14 equals 14, we know that our answer is correct. When you're doing algebra, it's really important that you go step by step, one at a time. So when you're doing something, take it one step at a time and don't hesitate to rewrite it each time. This keeps our work neat and stops you from getting confused. While you're doing your work, please remember to do this, and this is the kind of work I like to see. One step at a time. Since this is already a review from the school year, here's what I'd like you to try. On Google Classroom, there is a picture algebra problem that I'd like you to do. Algebra. For practice, we have some one-step and two-step algebra questions that I'd like you to do. And for homework, I'd like you to check in with me. And I'd like to give you a challenge problem during that check-in. This challenge problem is actually a grade 7 problem that I'd like you guys to try. Thanks so much, and I hope you guys have a nice day.